KDWB.
It's the thing to do.
Love to have you, Mom. KDWB Cavalcade of Stars time, 23 and a half until 1. Bobby Vee coming up this half hour with Rubber Ball. Gene Pitney, 3 on KDWB's Fab 40. If I didn't have a dime to play the jukebox. Good old Gene there looking for a little coin. Aren't we all? I'll tell you one thing about money. I mean, I've learned that, well, I've learned about money manners. I mean, it really does. It matters.
KDWB, Channel 63.
How are you? DuChene with you around till 6 on KDWB. It's 18 chilly Twin City degrees. And here's something to think about when you're buying a diamond ring, talking about money. I mean, you're shelling out your good hard-earned loot, right? Right. Now, if you've got any sense at all, you don't have to be bribed to buy a good diamond. Fellas, remember, your sweetheart isn't interested in how many lawnmowers and free bowling balls and what have you that you got with her diamond. She's most interested in the quality and beauty of the ring. She wants to be sure it's something she can be proud to wear and show her family and friends. That's why it's so important to buy a diamond you know from a jeweler you can trust. And nothing fits this qualification like the registered perfect Keepsake Diamonds you'll find only in St. Paul at Ronald Jewelers. Don't take a chance with your love. Show her you really care by buying her a beautiful Keepsake Diamond from Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha, just off 7th in downtown St. Paul. Take that best, gal. Head for Ronald's of St. Paul. You'll find Ronald's are open every night until 9 p.m., Saturdays till 5:30 for your shopping convenience. So if you're thinking about giving that special someone a diamond engagement ring, make it a downtown affair by stopping in at Ronald Jewelers any night of the week, looking over their complete selection of the magnificently beautiful Keepsake Diamond rings. And remember, at Ronald's of St. Paul, you can always arrange easy payments to fit your budget. That's Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha, in the heart of the St. Paul Loop. 19 and a half till 1 on the Don DuChene program. Viewpoint this morning, 2:15.
Let's go surfing now and
Surfing Safari, the Beach Boys from KDWB. Occasional cloudiness, warmer today and tomorrow, as per my head weather spy. Southwesterly winds for kite flyers today, about 10 miles an hour. The low this morning, 20 in the city, but as low as 10 to 15 in outlying areas. High this afternoon to a 48. The low tonight, 28. Saturday's high is 60. Humidity now is 88%. No breeze. The weather comp, 18 KDWB degrees. Sports next. Nana Muscuri, KDW might be on the Don DuChene program, The Wildwood Flower.
Channel 63 Sports Scoreboard.
St. Paul Hockey Saints coach Fred Shiro pulls the wraps off his 1962-63 edition of the Fighting Saints tonight in an exhibition game with the Omaha Knights at the Wakota Ice Arena in South St. Paul. Tickets for the game now on sale at the Hockey Club office, Field Schlick, and the Wakota Ice Arena. Thursday high school football, Mechanic Arts 38, Humboldt nothing. Two strong right-handers are UPI's pitchers of the year in the National and American Leagues. The winners announced yesterday are Don Drysdale of the Los Angeles Dodgers and Dick Donovan of the Cleveland Indians. Drysdale picked up 25 victories, most for a National League pitcher since 1956, when Don Newcomb posted 27 for the then Brooklyn Dodgers. Donovan pitched 5 shutouts en route to a 20-victory season for Cleveland. The Philadelphia Phillies have signed young lefty Chris Short, and the National League champion San Francisco Giants have released veteran Bob Neiman. Hot-handed Bob Rosberg is in front by 3 strokes going into today's second round of the Orange County Open Golf Tournament at Costa Mesa, California. Rosberg cracked the course record by 1 stroke in yesterday's opening round with a blistering 8 under par 63. Easy to remember golf stroke. Subpar rounds by other golfers in the $22,500 tourney just were not good enough in the face of Rosberg's card. Jerry Sealsmith with a 5 under par 66 settled for second place, and Gene Littler and George Baer with 4 under par 70s tied for third. Argentine heavyweight Lavarante, in a coma since being KO'd in about September 21st, had his 26th birthday yesterday. Lavarante's mother, who has been at his side since 4 days after he suffered the brain injury, paid another silent visit to her son. Pinky George, the fighter's manager, has been another faithful visitor at the Los Angeles hospital. Doctors say there is no indication when or if Lavarante will recover consciousness. A couple of all-losing college football teams are in the spotlight tonight, pending tomorrow's usual heavy schedule. The Detroit Titans, winless in 4 starts, host the Dayton Flyers, who are in an even worse shape with 6 straight losses. Minnesota Gophers defended Michigan pass patterns Thursday and sought to sharpen their own passing attack in the last intensive workout before Saturday's game. The Gophers, who leave for Ann Arbor today, and the defense of the Little Brown Jug Saturday, also practice coverage on kickoff plays and protection on punts. First and foremost, Channel 6-3, Sports Scoreboard. Bobby Vee, 1960, on the KDWB Cavalcade of Stars from the Don DuChene program, presenting good old Rapid Robert Rubber Ball.
KDWB is a swinginist, and everybody knows it.
Swing until 1 in hour 1, the Don DuChene program, 10 on the KDWB clock. Occasional cloudiness, warmer today, high this afternoon, 48. Going to an overnight low of about 20 in the Twin Towns, but as low as 10 to 15 in outlying areas. Present stats, humidity at 88%, no breeze, the weather calm, and 18 KDWB degrees. Let's head onward. Connie Francis in a beautiful item. I was such a fool.
In love with you.
Freddie Connie Francis, 18 from KDWB's Fab 40. I was such a fool. 7 run until 1. The Don DuChene program time on Bobby Vee Day with the Cavalcade of Stars. Bobby coming up next hour with Take Good Care of My Baby and How Many Tears. A couple of golden goodies from Bobby Vee. I was such a fool. A friend of my friend's friend told me the other day, she says she's no fool. She says she's the most original and imaginative driver in the world. And I think she has a point there, really. She says, Don, who'd ever think of making a U-turn in a car wash?
KDWB.
That's originality, I'll tell you.
Channel 63.
18 on KDWB degrees. I'm sure that you've heard the old saying that nothing succeeds like success. And this is certainly true of Ronald Jewelers of St. Paul and Keepsake Diamonds. For almost 70 years now, Keepsake Diamonds have been among the most preferred diamond engagement and wedding rings in the entire world. The same can be said of Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul, where guys and gals from Minneapolis, South-State Minnesota, nearby Wisconsin, have found they can trust the competent diamond experts at Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha, in the heart of downtown St. Paul. When you buy that special ever-loving her Keepsake Diamond engagement ring from Ronald's in St. Paul, you're telling her and the world that you cared enough for her to make sure that she has nothing but the very finest, a registered perfect Keepsake Diamond with free lifetime service. Remember, if she's good enough to be your wife, then she deserves nothing less than the best, right? Right, I'll tell you. A Keepsake Diamond from Ronald Jewelers of St. Paul, the only authorized Keepsake Diamond dealer in the entire city. Ronald's, 433 Wabasha, just off 7th in downtown St. Paul. Open daily till 9, Saturdays till 5:30, with convenient parking right across the street. Let's dance a bit. Chubby Checker leading us with the Popeye. Hit style with Chubby Checker on KDWB and the Fab 40 doing the...
Baby, you're torturing me. You know that I'm crazy about you, yet you make me do without you. Do you mean to hurt or don't you see? You're torturing me.
Long-time great hit on KDWB's Fab 46 this week. Torture Chris Jensen action on the Don DuChene program. That wraps us up in Hour 1. Setting to go with Hour 2, Hank Snow to lead us off. Set your dial for 63. KDWB St. Paul, a Twin City sound citizen. Good morning for KDWB News. This is Don DuChene reporting. Number 1 news story this hour, Twin Cities. The United Fund campaigns in Minneapolis and St. Paul surpassed their goals. The drive ended Thursday night with Hennepin County reporting just over the goal at $5,216,669. In St. Paul, the goal was passed by 0.5%, $3,484,573. Twin Cities, several B-47 bombers arrived at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport and are under guard beside the Air National Guard hangar. A spokesman at the Duluth Air Force Base had confirmed earlier that B-47 bombers of the Strategic Air Command had arrived in Duluth. Minneapolis' strict new laws covering the sale of drugs and medicines are needed to protect the public health, according to Robert Mattson, Special Assistant to the Minnesota Attorney General. He urges members of the State Pharmaceutical Association to back proposed legislation which would provide stricter safeguards on the sale of packaged and over-the-counter drugs. Minneapolis, a 53-year-old Mill City woman, remains in critical condition at General Hospital in Minneapolis following a car-train collision Wednesday night in Minneapolis. Mrs. Alvin Shorn of 1084 21st Avenue Southeast was injured when the car she was driving collided with a Northern Pacific switch engine. Channel 6-3 Politics Newsbeat. State DFL Chairman George Farr challenges Governor Elmer Anderson to reveal his secret tax program before Election Day. Farr says the governor had promised to reveal the contents of his tax committee report in time to permit ample public discussion and debate before the fall election. Farr said Anderson's promise has not been kept, and the people of Minnesota know no more about Anderson's tax plans than they did 2 years ago. Detroit Lakes, the body of a 15-year-old Langby, Minnesota youth, recovered from Rock Lake near Detroit Lakes. Dennis Clicker had the day off from school because of the MEA convention and decided to visit his grandfather at Detroit Lakes. He then decided to do some duck hunting, and before too long he hit a duck. But it fell into the lake, and the youth attempted to use an old boat to retrieve the bird, but he somehow fell into the water. His body was recovered by Becker County Sheriff's officers. KDWB News Time, 1:02, Washington. The White House emphasizes the arms quarantine on Cuba will continue. The quarantine task force ringing the island allowed a Soviet oil tanker to pass through its cordon yesterday because petroleum shipments were not banned by President Kennedy's order. The Defense Department also reported at least a dozen Soviet ships bound for Cuba turned back, but others still are on their way to the island, and the Pentagon says they will be stopped and searched. President Kennedy's determination to enforce the ban against Soviet arms shipment was implied in a note to UN Secretary General Thant. Thant had suggested a 2 to 3 weeks suspension of the quarantine and a halt to Russian arms shipments while the two nations negotiated toward a peaceful settlement. The president indicated his willingness to discuss the crisis in the United Nations, but he did not touch on the proposal that the quarantine be ended. And the White House said later it is self-evident that the quarantine will continue. Soviet Premier Khrushchev voiced his agreement with the Thant proposal in a note delivered by Soviet UN delegate Valerin Zorin. Zorin refused to deny the Kremlin had sent missiles to Cuba when American Ambassador Adlai Stevenson asked him for a direct yes or no answer to the question. Instead, he merely reiterated the Soviet contention that it does not need to put missiles in Cuba. KDWB News Time, 1:03.5. Key West, Florida. Defense posts have been set up on the Florida Keys, and troops are manning rocket launchers and powerful searchlights. More troops are being placed in position as they arrive by train, truck, and plane. Berlin, the U.S. Army 6,500-man garrison in Berlin on Friday will wind up its 4-day combat maneuvers. The war games, with infantry, armor, and artillery taking part, were held in Grunwald Forest. The exercises lent weight to President Kennedy's pledge for all-out support for West Berlin. Honolulu, the United States will try at 1:30 Twin City time this morning for its third successful high-altitude nuclear shot of the year series over Johnston Island in the Pacific. Chicago, the Midwest, has been hit by its first cold wave and snowstorm of the season. Most of the snow fell Thursday just east and south of the Great Lakes, driven across the lakes by gale-force winds. Bellston and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, had 7 inches of snow on the ground from earlier storms. 2 inches fell on northern Indiana and Ohio. London, a London dentist, says Ben Franklin was only half right about the benefits of apples. Professor G.C. Slack said an apple a day also keeps the dentist away. Slack said that in a recent survey, children who ate apples had half as many cavities as those who did not. Twin Cities, KDWB Climatological Survey. Occasional cloudiness, warmer today and tomorrow. Low this morning about 20 in the city, but as low as 10 to 15 in outlying areas. High today 48, low tonight 28, Saturday's high 60. At news time, 88 humidity. The weather calm, no breeze. Under fair Twin City skies, the Don DuChene program temperature 18 KDWB degrees. For KDWB News, this is Don DuChene.
Knows that keeping to the right is the basic rule on the road when driving. Yet this is the most violated rule. Be one of them KDWB good guys and stay in your own lane.
KDWB Good Guy time and temp, 8 past 1, 18 chilly Twin City degrees. Today is Bobby Vee Day.
Listen to the sound of history in the making.
AMR, turn on high speed.
Free.
I'll tell you it's free. Now on KDWB, Trade Martin coming in. Trade Martin action on KDWB, the Don DuChene Yawn Patrol. That stranger, she used to be my gal, but things aren't going well. I'm optimistic. She may be my gal again someday. Who knows? You got to have that drive. You got to be optimistic. You got to feel that maybe again.
KDWB, Channel 63.
This half hour, the Don DuChene program, brought to you by Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha, in the heart of downtown St. Paul, your exclusive Keepsake Diamond dealer in the capital city. Also this half hour, on the Bobby Vee Cavalcade of Stars feature. Bobby coming in with Take Good Care, My Baby. It's perfect. That's what your baby will say, your gal, I tell you, when you give her a Keepsake Diamond ring from Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul, and it will be perfect in more ways than one. First, because she knows a Keepsake Diamond is one she can be proud to wear, the aristocrat of all diamonds. Second, because it has the perfect combination of fine blue-white color, precision cuts, sparkling brilliance, and lovely styling. And third, and most important, it is perfect by government standards. Yes, Keepsake Diamonds at Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul are registered perfect diamonds, free from flaws, meeting government standards for quality, just plain top-notch all the way around. And you will know you've made the top-notch decision in buying your keepsake at Ronald's, the only authorized Keepsake Diamond dealer in St. Paul. In addition to your diamond guarantee, you'll get free insurance against loss, a written guarantee of full trade-in value, and free lifelong repair and cleaning. And you can buy in a low-payment plan with no credit charges at Ronald Jewelers in downtown St. Paul. 433 Wabasha, just off 7th. Ronald's open weeknights till 9, Saturdays till 5:30. KDWB open 24 hours. It's 20 Twin City degrees. And guys, when you give that best ever loving of yours a keepsake, nice, warm, and tender words like, love me tender. Richard Chamberlain, Doc Kildare himself, Love Me Tender. 1:15 of the Don DuChene program, and Miss Teenage America, Kathy Graves of, she's actually not Miss Teenage America, but Miss Teenage Twin Cities, and she has been over the past week, been down in Dallas, Texas, at the national pageant, and the 6 finalists were picked yesterday for the for the title of Miss Teenage America, and Kathy did not make it the finalist, but she made a great showing down there. The finalists are Sharon Lee Alorch of Miss St. Louis, and Darla Durkee of Rock Island, Illinois, Andrea Hilburn of Indianapolis, Indiana, Catherine Ruth Wester of Phoenix, Arizona, Darla Banks of Fresno, California, and Jane Paulette Breen of Toledo, Ohio, just in case you were interested. But hats off to Kathy Graves of Osseo High School, Miss Teenage Twin Cities. And, of course, in everybody's book here, she is Miss Teenage America.
Something spectacular is happening.
Today is Bobby Vee Day on the Cavalcade of Stars.
Something spectacular is going to happen.
Tomorrow is Brenda Lee Day.
On KDWB, Channel 63.
You know, talking to Miss Teenage America, the gal who is going to win that particular honor is really going to receive some fabulous prizes. She'll receive a $14,000 4-year college scholarship, a Mercury Comet convertible, a 10-day Caribbean cruise, and a diamond watch, cosmetics, and a wardrobe. And she will also be tested for the Gidget role in the forthcoming movie Gidget Goes to Rome, and will get a part on the Donna Reed television show. So there you go. And again, hats off to Kathy Graves of our own Twin Cities, Miss Teenage of the Twin Cities.
KDWB is a swinginist, and everybody knows it.
Everybody in the Twin Cities knows the place to buy a registered perfect Keepsake Diamond ring is at Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha at 7th in downtown St. Paul. Now, for the rest of you, just because you live out of town, you're not out of luck. That's because Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul makes it so easy for you to buy your keepsake ring, where the selection is greatest and the service the friendliest. You out-of-towners can open a charge account at Ronald's, handle all payments by mail. And get this, there are no interest or carrying charges of any kind. Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul makes it even easier for you out-of-towners by staying open every evening till 9, Monday through Friday, as well as Saturday till 5:30. And there's convenient parking right across the street. So if you want the very best in a quality diamond ring for your girl, for her sake, make it keepsake. And for your sake, buy it at Ronald Jewelers in St. Paul, the only authorized keepsake diamond dealer in the entire city. Ronald Jewelers, 433 Wabasha at 7th in downtown St. Paul. Set your dial for 63, KDWB St. Paul, a Twin City sound citizen.
You never heard it so good riding round in your car. KDWB, highway or byway or driveway, wherever you are. You ought to keep travel tune to 63.
More music per mile.
KDWB, our mobile units keep you in the know of Twin City news wherever you go. You never heard it so good in your automobile. KDWB.